Hello, my name is Johanne Desrochers. I am the Executive Director of the Montreal Comic Arts Festival. You're listening to the True North Country Comic Podcast.
Welcome to the True North Country Comics Podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book and graphic novel creators and supporters. I'm John Swenimer. If you want to drop me a line, you can contact me at john@truenorthcountrycomics.com. On this episode, I chat with Johanne Desrochers about the 2022 Montreal Comic Arts Festival, also known as MCAF. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. It's also available on the True North Country Comics channel on YouTube. I invite you to like and subscribe. Johanne is the Executive Director of MCAF. She has over 25 years of experience working with small and cultural companies. Johanne has a great knowledge of areas related to strategic planning, human resources management, business development, and budget monitoring. Involved in her community, she has been administrator of various social and community organizations, and she is, for example, the chair of the Board of Autism Foundation. MCAF is entering its second decade with a new location. From May 27th to 29th, the festival will set up its tents on St. Denis Street between Guildford and Roy, creating a 1.5-kilometer long comic book stroll punctuated with activities, exhibitions, and encounters. The Montreal Comic Arts Festival team, in partnership with the SDC Rue St. Denis, is excited to reconnect with the public live and in person, and is pleased to unveil its 2022 program. Spread over 3 days, the programming slate will be bilingual, free, and open to all. After 2 years of absence, more than 100 exhibitors will be exhibiting at this year's festival. And so, without further ado, here's my chat with Johanne Desrochers about the 2022 Montreal Comic Arts Festival. So, Johanne Desrochers, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I appreciate your time. What I usually do to start off the interview is ask about their first comic books. I wonder if you remember, what was the first comic book that you read?
Well, that's a long time ago, and it's probably some kind of Lucky Luke or Asterix, which are French comic books that were very popular. So I would go along those lines. I remember when we were kids, they would publish Asterix every year, like in November. So we would expect to have it for Christmas. So every year we had a new Asterix for Christmas.
That was a nice gift.
Yeah, it was very appreciated, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And that leads into my next question, your love of comic books and literature. You are the general director of the Festival BD de Montreal, or Montreal Comic Arts Festival. So for those not familiar with this festival, how would you describe it to them?
Well, I would say it's the best place to encounter all sorts of creators and all sorts of books, all sorts of comic books. So you meet classic people, you meet bande dessinée franco-belge that we have, but there's also all sorts of self-published people that come and sell their books. There's smaller editors' house that are there, and there's also very well-known comic artists that are present. So if you want to have an idea what's going on in the comic arts world, Comic Arts Festival is the best place to be and to buy books, but also to attend some panels and to see drawing battles and to attend a little workshop on how to draw a personage. So it's a very good place to learn about what's going on in the comic arts world.
And because we've sort of been secluded in our homes for some time because of COVID, this is actually the first time in a few years that it's been actually made public. And I understand you're shutting down an entire street for this festival.
Yes, we're coming out in the streets. It's the first time this part of the street is going to be closed for a festival, so it's very exciting. Before that, we were very happy, and we were in a park under big marquee, and it was very nice and very friendly. And so when we were invited to come to the street and to close the street, we were very happy because then we could still have marquees and have our exhibitors under some tents. And since the street is closed, then you have this familiarity, you have this happiness of being outside and walking in a closed street. So we keep the same festivity attitude that we had in the park, but we are in the street now, so it's nice.
Sure. And this is Saint Denis, the street,
Yes.
and it's not in the middle of nowhere. You're actually surrounded by wonderful shops, restaurants, this sort of thing. So when you're not perusing a new comic book or an artist, you can go off and have some wonderful items to browse, to shop, or eat. So it's everybody wins. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
good.
And so it's going to be kind of 1.5 kilometer route of comics, and you'll have exhibitors on one side, and on the other side we'll have some exhibitions, just to make the stroll nicer.
Nice.
So,
yeah, that's for sure. So how long has this festival been running? How long has it been going for?
Well, it's our 11th anniversary.
Wow.
This year. So yeah, it's nice to start this new decade in a new environment.
That's good. Yeah. For those wondering, you're not talking, when we talk about comic books, typically most people think about DC, Marvel, Superman, Batman, but we're mostly talking about independent artists. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we're talking about DC Marvels. Of course, there's going to be some place to find those books, but there's a very, very big scene of comic in Montreal. We have very interesting publishing house. We have Drawn and Quarterly, which has been here for a long time, and they've been publishing comic books since more than 30 years now, I think, and it's quite different than DC and. But it's very interesting. So we have other publishing house in Montreal. It's been growing a lot. We have Pow Pow Press. We have La Pastèque, and it's mainly adult books. We have also a very interesting youth book that are published here in Montreal, mostly in French, but they are very famous, and it's been so popular that we can say now it's almost the first generation of young Quebecers that would have grown up with some French Quebec comic books. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Well, you've mentioned a lot of activities that are taking place at the festival. I'm wondering, are there any particular activities that you're most looking forward to?
We are very happy to be able to have Julie Doucet with us this year. For memory, Julie Doucet just won a very big prize in the French comic scene because she had the Grand Prix at Festival d'Angoulême, which is kind of the mecca of the French comic books. So she had the Grand Prix at the Festival d'Angoulême, and she will be in conversation with Jessica Campbell. So that is going to be in conversation in English, and it's going to be very interesting. So I'm very looking forward to that. We have roundtables because we always have a main team for the festival, and the team this year is making connections. So we're trying to have all our panels and conversation about that team, and we will also have a roundtable about queer comics more than a coming out story. So as you can see with that title, we try to have creators come to talk about their comics, about their work, but not just to talk about their book itself, but to talk more about their thinking about the books, about the message they want to do or why they're doing the books, not only about the books itself.
So you get to know the artists a bit closer rather than just say, hey, here's my book, go buy it. It's more like what's behind it and some lively discussion, I guess, too.
Yes, exactly. You well said.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, lots to look forward to there. I'm wondering, since the festival has been around for 11 years, I'm wondering, do you have any favorite festival moments from previous years that you could share?
Yes, well, it's very lively in the festival because what I've been telling you as example with the conversation with Julie Doucet and this roundtable about queer, I don't want to give a false idea about the festival that it's severe and intellectual. There's live drawing and there's drawing battles, and it's always fascinating to see those creators draw live in front of you and kind of drawing. answering each other about their character. This is a fun part. I really like to see those creators draw live and exchanging and playing games one to the other while they are drawing. So it's always a very fun moment to watch.
You get to see how the magic happens, see it now.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes they ask to the people to have suggestion about, and people, of course, they will say something that is completely out of the story. And you can see how the creators, they will introduce this idea which seems unlikely. They will find a way to introduce it in their design. So it's always a lot of fun.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
For those people who want to find out more about the festival, can you recommend a specific website?
They should go on our website, and it's Festival BD, so fbdm-mcaf.ca. So, but if you write Montreal Comic Arts Festival on your browser, you should find easily our website.
And the bottom line is this completely free. Anyone who's roaming the street can just stop in and check things out.
Completely free. You want to have a little workshop, it's free. Everything's free except the books you have to buy.
Excited.
Yeah.
Well, so, Johanne, those are all the questions I have for you, but I'm wondering, is there something I didn't ask that you'd like to get across in this interview?
I would say to everyone just to come and visit, and I would say to the parents to come with their kids and to try to find something for themselves, because sometimes, besides people who read comics, lots of people think that comic books are for kids. But I'm quite sure if you look around quite closely, you can find a comic book on the theme that you like to read. If you read history, you'll find comic book on history. You read biography, you'll find the same thing. So I would challenge any adult who doesn't read comics to come to the festival and find a book for them. And if they don't, they just can ask for me and I'll do my best to find themselves a book. And our poster this year is done by Michel Rabagliati, which is the author of the series Paul, which is a big name in the comic industry in Montreal.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess I should say that he has done a fabulous poster for us this year.
Will he be in attendance at the event?
Sure. He's always there. That's why we asked him this year, because he's our fan number one.
Thanks to Johanne for the chat. You can discover more about MCAF 2022 at www.fbdm-mcaf.ca/en. And thanks to you for listening to the True North Country Comics podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to and like this podcast on Apple Podcasts. And please leave a good rating. Also check out the TrueNorthCountryComics.com website and follow along on Twitter at True North Comics. True North Country Comics is now on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to that video channel. Please send your feedback to John at TrueNorthCountryComics.com. Thanks again for listening, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2022.